obsolete, Mr. Wordsworth.
Lie. No man is obsolete.
It's a cookbook.
Who are we?
Emily, take the bandages off.
You're a bad man. You're a very bad man.
This lemon sucker here. He's the most suspicious of the bunch.
My name is Talkie Tina, and I'm beginning to hate you.
I believe you're going my way.
Live from Willoughby at the heart of the Twilight Zone. Here are your hosts, Alex and Tyler, the prestigiously perfect podcast in which we call The Twilight Gnome.
What is up, Gnomies? I'm Alex.
And I'm Tyler.
Welcome to the Twilight Gnome Podcast, episode 47. What episode are we going to be discussing this week, Ty?
This week we are discussing Shadowplay.
Yes, Season 2, Episode 26, the original air date, May 5th, 1961. This was written by Charles Beaumont and directed by John Bram, which, if you guys remember from a couple of our other episodes, he did 12 Twilight Zone episodes.
Ooh, that's a lot.
This is our 5th, so we still haven't even got halfway through his. You want me to go over his again?
Yeah, let's hear what they are.
Time Enough at Last, Judgment Night, The Four of Us Are Dying, Mirror Image, A Nice Place to Visit, Mr. Dingle the Strong, Shadowplay, Person or Persons Unknown, Young Man's Fancy, The New Exhibit, You Drive, and Queen of the Nile.
Wow, kind of varied from a whole bunch of different seasons, so he just kept popping
He has
up.
one in every season,
Wow,
I believe.
impressive.
Yes, he does. He has one in every season.
Nice.
So, yeah, friggin', how you been?
I've been good. How you been?
I don't know. I feel like we kind of just jump right into it, but I guess it's been all right. That little cocksucker Poxitani Phil saw our shadow, so we got 6 more weeks of winter, but hopefully not 6 more weeks of this fucking mash shit we've had.
No, because then I really enjoyed the next episode we're going to watch. I don't know if you're going to enjoy it as much as I did, but I have high hopes
Right.
for the next episode.
Obviously, we have to do all 156 episodes, but it's just unfortunate that the last, pretty much since the new year, Elegy was our first, and I was like, oh my god, I fucking love this. Start of 2025 is going to be amazing. I gave it a 9, and then it's just been like fucking straight 6s.
I mean, not for me.
You're a little varied.
I'm all over the board on some of these. Some of these I'm like, yeah, pretty good. And others I'm like, dog shit.
Right. All right, Ty, we'll jump right into it. What was your favorite moment?
That's a roast.
You like the switcheroo?
I just love the
Stinger.
the way he said the line. I don't know, just super fucking funny. Like, that's a roast. Like, yeah, no shit, that's a roast. It really made me laugh.
Can we get into it, I guess, a little bit more on, like, the whole, like, existential fucking shit of this, or, like, how it even, like, doesn't make sense. Like, if they are dream figures of his imagination, why are we even seeing anything from their point of view? Like, they don't exist.
Exactly. I was thinking the same thing when I was watching it. I was like, they're his subconscious.
Do NPCs actually have fucking, like, feelings?
What it would have been better if they'd filmed this as a first person, like we only see like maybe his nose the whole time, and like we're seeing it from his perspective. That would make a lot more sense, because even in your dreams, like I never really have dreams where I'm seeing myself in the third person usually.
Right. I don't know. I know some people really enjoy this one, but there's just so many plot holes, and like we'll get into it right now. The whole fucking. Do you want to wait till we get into it?
I guess we'll wait and what. First off, what was your favorite moment before we just rip this one apart?
It wasn't really a moment as more of the aesthetics. John Bram is a really good director. He has a lot of his episodes are very good, and those opening shots where it's black and it zooms out, those are fucking
and
awesome.
And it like I liked how it like gradually will light certain elements first. It's both visually appealing, but also very reminiscent of a dream where like sort of things kind of fade
Come into
to
focus.
existence. Yeah, it's
for sure.
Definitely, he made that dreamlike quality come alive in the episode.
Direction was really good. Just there's quite a few things I would have definitely changed about them.
We have the technology to rebuild it.
Doctor, what have you created?
I am, for all intent and purposes, AI Serling.
So every week I put a prompt into ChatGPT, come up with a Rod Serling style intro, and this week's kind of a little long, but it's okay. There's a plot hole in it that I know you're probably going to pick apart. I'm going to see if you
All right,
do that or not.
I'll keep my ears open.
This is Adam Grant, an ordinary man caught in the most extraordinary of circumstances, a prisoner condemned to die, awaiting the final stroke of midnight. But this is no simple case of crime and punishment, no mere story of justice served. You see, Adam Grant has been here before, many times. He knows the script, the players, and most terrifying of all, the ending. To the warden, the guards, even the district attorney, he is just another guilty man grasping at straws, raving about a world that isn't real. But Adam Grant knows something they don't. He knows that when the switch is thrown, the world will end, only to begin again, in the same cell, with the same faces, playing out the same nightmare. Tonight, we take a journey into the mind of a man who claims reality is nothing more than a dream, for which he cannot awake. Whether he is mad, mistaken, or something far more disturbing is a question best answered in The Twilight Zone.
Is it that it says he can't awake when he literally does awake?
Yes.
It's like,
Which is the biggest flaw of this whole episode.
yeah, because
It makes the stakes worth nothing. If you wake up like fucking
Yeah,
yeah,
there's
that
no
would
stakes.
suck to fucking have the same
you
dream
keep having the
every
same
night.
nightmare every night. Yeah, it's a little scary, but at the end of the day, if you're lucid dreaming like he is, you know it's just a dream. You're gonna wake up and you'll be fine.
It'd be like I watched.
Also, he was like, "Have you ever had a dream where you get tortured and like you feel pain?" I'm like, at no point have I ever had a dream where I physically feel pain.
No, not I don't think so. I've had like sometimes my arms fall asleep if I'm just like laying on them wrong, and that scares the shit out of me. But I wake up and I'm like arms.
Like
and
you
I'm
wake,
oh,
like
fuck.
your dream, you can feel your
No.
arm asleep.
No, sometimes I just wake up and in real life my fucking arms asleep and
Well, yeah, but that's
scary
not.
as shit.
Yeah, that's not like your dream. You having weird
I know.
sensations.
But I would definitely like get into like. It would eventually become fun because it was Groundhog's Day. I watched Groundhog's Day. Really good movie. I know we talked about it the other night. Palm Springs is a little bit better, but
Yeah.
Groundhog's Day is a very good movie.
There's definitely this movie. This episode is both has a lot to do with like those types of time loop movies, but most time loop movies don't have like a dream kind of.
There's no
element to
stakes
it.
though. He's not really stuck there because he's
Yeah.
in a dream. Like when you wake up, like yeah, it would suck, but just go see like a doctor, like get fucking meds that make you don't dream. Like I don't know.
Yeah, I agree.
All right, we'll jump right into questions. Every week, Tyler and I come up with a few questions for each other, keep each other on our toes. I found it very hard,
Oh, super hard.
but I did come up with three.
I feel like we're gonna have the same three.
You think so?
I think so.
All right, this is an odd, so you go first.
All right. According to Adam, how many steps to the final door?
Oh, damn it. I did not get that one. 362.
78.
Not even fucking close.
No.
All right. What's behind the lamp in Henry's house?
Didn't even realize there was a lamp in his house. A rack of gin.
No, it was a fish statue, a little statue of a fish, like a wooden fish or...
Was that what was up on the mantle? Is
No,
that supposed
it
to
was,
be a fish?
it was behind... he had like a little nightstand with a...
He had something weird on the mantle too that kind of looked fish-like, but I couldn't really tell what it was.
Oh, the clock?
Yeah, it looked like a clock with a fish, like carved into a fish.
Maybe he likes fish.
Oh, maybe.
Fish in the percolator.
Fish in the percolator. What color is the final door?
Green.
Yeah.
Remind me of the Green Mile. That's why I stuck
That's
in there.
why, yeah, I was thinking, like, is that why it's called the Green Mile?
Are all execution doors green?
I've never seen the Green Mile. Was the execution door in that movie, was that green? Is that why it's called
haven't-
the Green Mile?
I don't believe so. I think they just called your long walk down to the execution thing the Green Mile. Like, I'm walking the Green Mile.
Oh.
But
Yeah.
maybe the floor was green. I think it's your turn.
No, I just did it. The green question.
Oh, shit.
Your
Yep.
second one.
Father Beeman died when Adam was how old?
10.
Yes.
Ah, yeah. All right, my last question. What time is it when he asks Jiggs for the time?
9:02.
9:05.
Damn it. All right, my final question. Who is the judge in round 2?
It's Jiggs.
It is.
Yeah.
All right.
I'm surprised we didn't get any of the same questions again.
All right, we'll jump right into the plot of this one. We open up on an awesome shot of a man kind of holding like his hand to his face.
It's very dark, and then, like you said earlier about your
zooms
favorite,
out and light slowly starts going. Like it goes on the jury, and then the whole room lights up. Very well done.
both dreamlike and also kind of reminds you of like seeing a play where you only have like certain amount of lights that kind of like will light up certain areas at the same when they're needed.
Yep, it was definitely very play reminiscent,
Yep.
which was pretty cool. And then we find out that we are in a courtroom, and the judge is like, all right, jury, what's the verdict? And they're like, we find Adam Grant guilty of murder in the first degree.
And when they're like, when he's reading out the sentence, we can see like Adam kind of mouthing the words,
like he
he
knows.
knows exactly what everyone's gonna say because this has become so ingrained. This probably is like 100th time doing this.
Right. He asks Adam to stand, and he says, "Do you have anything to say before you're put to death by the electric chair?" And Adam just laughs and goes, "No, I'm not doing this again." Fucking, which is,
I mean, again, if you know it's a dream, there's no consequences. Why are you afraid? Like, at this point, just go crazy. Or also, you're lucid dreaming. You could just imagine different things.
is he lucid
happening.
dreaming?
Lucid dreaming is when you are in a, or when you're
You can
dreaming.
control
and
it, though.
you-
It doesn't seem like he has any control over this.
My understanding of lucid dreaming was just like when you're aware that you're in a dream.
No,
'Cause
I
then-
believe when you're lucid dreaming, you can actually manifest things and make things happen. Like, I can go fly right now. I can do stuff. This is definitely not lucid dreaming.
Then what's it? Is there a word for dreaming when you are aware that you're dreaming?
I'm sure, but that's not lucid dreaming.
I thought lucid meant like just that, like you're aware of it, and
No.
because you're aware of it, then you have the power to change it.
Yeah, which he can't. He knows that he's dreaming, but he can't manifest or change anything. So he's definitely not.
That only
lucid.
happened to me one time. It was pretty creepy.
You knew
Like,
it was a dream.
I was dreaming, and I knew I was in a dream. I was in Aunt Lynn and Uncle Mark's bathroom in my dream, just banging on the walls, saying like, wake up, you're in a dream," and like I couldn't physically wake myself up. It was kind of scary.
Dreams are fucking creepy.
They are. They're weird.
Thinking too much about dreams is really weird. But anyway, getting off topic here. Adam's freaking out, and he's like, "Tell him, Mr. District Attorney, this isn't real. Tell him. And this is kind of a cool Rod intro, would you say?
I thought it was different. I couldn't think of the name. Is it just the booth? He's in a booth, or is it like a specific? What would you call it? Like
The witness booth,
Yeah.
booth or whatever. So the guards, bailiffs, are escorting Mr. Grant out of there, and as it zooms past, it goes to the witness booth, and Rod is right there, and he brings us in.
Adam Grant, a nondescript kind of man found guilty of murder and sentenced to the electric chair. Like every other criminal caught in the wheels of justice, he's scared, right down to the marrow of his bones. But it isn't prison that scares him, the long, silent nights of waiting, the slow walk to the little room, or even death itself. It's something else that holds Adam Grant in the hot, sweaty grip of fear. Something worse than any punishment this world has to offer. Something found only in the Twilight Zone.
Like, there's something he fears a lot worse. Prison rape.
And dream prison rape is the worst kind.
All right? The guy had a 5-foot penis.
Oh my god.
Yeah. But anyway, the next shop, we're in the jail cell, and we're meeting kind of the people there. We got a crazy guy talking to himself, a guy playing harmonica.
Super rude to play harmonica in a room full of other people. Like,
Definitely would be like, dude, shut the fuck
yeah,
up.
it went on for quite a while, and even I was like, I hope some character says, "Please stop playing harmonica."
Well, as we can see, we see Adam, and he's like going crazy with this. He stands up, and he's like, "Can you stop playing that damn harmonica?" And the guy's like, "Sorry," and he's like, "Oh, it's okay. It's not your fault. I got you out of a bad movie I saw once."
I loved that line too, because he is able to recognize exactly where he remembers the different characters in his dreams from, which is kind of true. Like, sometimes you'll have a dream, and sometimes it will be real people from your life, and other times it will be like people from movies and TV shows. You're like, oh, look, there's so-and-so from that movie that's in my dream.
Right. And Jiggs is pretty much like his cell neighbor across. It seems like he's the one that he confides in the most, Adam does. And Jiggs is telling Adam pretty much just, hey, just stop thinking about it. Sometimes I even wonder what it'll be like. And Adam
He's
has
like, I
this.
know exactly what it's going to be like, and he lays it out in detail what it's just going to be like.
I'll play a little bit of that because that's kind
I'll tell you what it's like. You walk out of your cell, past 2 great doors, 78 steps to the final door. It's painted green. There's a guard that opens the door for you, and you go into a room. There's nothing in it except one chair. It's like a chair you used to sit in when you were a kid. It's hard and solid.
Huh? Cut it out.
a big chair.
eyes like a doll's eyes.
Before I forget, that's a cool shot. I didn't really notice it when the first couple times I was watching, but the whole split screen.
Where it's split, yeah.
Very good direction. Again, the director did a very well job.
Yeah, direction's good. Odd, too, did you notice that he calls the hood a mask? Weird choice of words
I
there.
guess it's kind of like a mask.
But it goes all the way around your head. I'd think of it as like a hood or like a pillowcase.
And at this point, Jiggs is kind of like, all right, stop, knock it off, and talk like you've been there before. And then he's just like, and then they pull the switch, and then we get a cool cut.
I did like that cut scene straight to the stake, and because it's kind of, I think they're trying to go for like, oh, like your body's gonna get like charred and burnt just like a steak would.
Right.
I think what they were trying to go for.
That, and it's just like a good pull away jump scare. But again, an odd thing to do because we're supposed to be seeing this through his perspective, and then it's just giving like consciousness to NPCs essentially, and it's just really fucked up. It seems more like something out of a David Lynch movie. I don't know.
Yeah, this is the part that I didn't really like. Like, if you're gonna tell it as if he's stuck in a dream, one, like you said earlier, there's no consequences because he knows he's in a dream and he's gonna be fine when he wakes up. And two, why do the characters in his dream have their own like B plot when it should all be told from his perspective? Very strange.
Yep. And then the doorbell rings, and the woman goes and opens the door, and there's a very hammered Carson, who I guess he's the editor. That's what he says.
It says he's the editor, but it kind of looked like he'd be more like the stenographer, really.
Yeah, just typing like what everyone's saying and shit.
Yeah.
But anyway, he's hammered. He shows up here at Henry's house, who is the district attorney. And
also, why would the editor be friends with I mean, I guess it's a dream. It doesn't have to make sense, but why would they be friends?
Yeah, Carson comes in, he pours himself some gin. He's like, only a few more hours. And
he pours more than himself
he
gin.
like 5 shots.
He's like,
there's only 3 people.
After the guys, too, is like, careful, that's my good gin, pours 2 shots and 2 glasses of gin. So there's 4 things, and he's the only one drinking.
Right. And then he's like, yeah, just a few more hours. And then Henry's wife's like, all right, that's fine. I'm upset. I'm going to bed. What about the steak dinner? Yeah, I lost my appetite. And Carson tells Henry that he actually kind of believes Adam's story, and come on. Or Henry's just like, come on, don't fucking think like that.
It's kind of like getting in your own head about things, like that episode of South Park, the Vander, whatever it's called, like when he's like, they keep being online with someone that's like, sir, you need to wake up. You're actually inside the machine.
No, my friend.
Yes, that episode.
Yeah, that one's really good. And I'll play a little bit of this because Henry's kind of trying to like rationalize it and be like, no, there's no way. But I'll play.
Are you sure?
Yes, I'm sure.
Then what are you so steamed up about?
I'll
tell you why. Because a little part of you believes too. Just a little tiny part of Henry Ritchie says maybe this Grant is right. Maybe this is all a dream. The thought has occurred to you, hasn't it? Hank, haven't you ever stopped and said to yourself, this couldn't be real. I couldn't be the district attorney. I couldn't have a lovely wife like Carol and a lovely home and money in the...
That's so fun because it seems like an I think you should. There's no way you could have this because you know you're just a piece of shit.
And also the logic doesn't even make any sense too, because he's basically saying like, oh, like you ever wondered like what if this was all a dream? And which to some extent, yes, you could always wonder if this is a dream, but because you're aware of your own consciousness, you're never going to wonder, well, what if this is someone else's dream? Like, no, like if anything, it's my dream that I'm having, but you would never wonder like, what if I'm existing because of someone else's dream? Because I know I have consciousness. It's the old adage, I think, therefore I am. Like,
right. That's another thing you get hardcore into, like, the only person you truly know is real, where you can conceivably be real, is yourself, because you're seeing through your own thing. Like, even though I'm talking to you right now, I know I'm real, but I don't know if you're real.
Exactly. You don't know if you imagined me and maybe I'm not even here. Like, It's all part of your head.
Consciousness is very fucking scary.
It is, but the way that they go about it is just really dumb in this episode.
And then Carson's pretty much just like, Henry, please, come on, do me a favor, just go see Adam yourself. And then we're back in the jail cell, and Adam asks Jiggs what time it is, and he says, oh, it's about 9 o'clock.
And he's like, oh, I know that the DA's going to be coming. It usually comes right around 9.
And then Jiggs is like, oh, yeah, you got a pretty good sense of humor. And pretty much right after, the DA walks into Adam's cell, which, again, just like in I Am the Night, Call Me Black, he goes into the cell, which why would you not talk to him from outside the bars?
Well, in this case, you can get away with it with the idea that this is Adam's dream, and Adam's seen TV shows where
and he even does
happens.
mention.
And yeah, he calls that out as being like, this is a trope that I've seen in TV. You wouldn't normally actually be able to come into this cell with me.
Right.
Which is, I liked that part, at least acknowledging like dream logic.
Right, yeah, the DA is just like, you don't seem surprised to see me, and Adam's just like, well, you always come around this time. Well, not always you, sometimes it's someone else. And I'll play a little bit of this because I thought this was pretty neat when he's pretty much just like, every night I explain this to you, or someone like you, the DA, I have to explain this. I'll play a little bit.
Well, this time, every night I explain. Every night it's the same.
All right. Explain again.
Well, it's very simple. When I die, you die. And everybody in this world dies because this world does not exist. It's a dream of mine. It's a nightmare. Can't you understand that?
No, Grant, I can't understand it.
And neither can I, really.
I did like the fact that they kind of do the whole, like, oh, I'm saying exactly what you're saying because I've been in this situation on repeat. Like, that was kind of a fun little addition to it. Did you notice his mouth was kind of moving, saying exactly what the
No,
DA...
I didn't notice that. I noticed it in the courtroom in the beginning, but he does the same thing pretty much.
He does the same thing right there in the clip you just showed where he's literally, like, mouthing exactly what the DA is saying, but, like, while he's saying it or just before he's saying it.
Right. And then he pretty much tells him, or Adam tells Henry there, that, you know, in real life, you would never be able to come and visit me like this. And then Henry's like, listen, I don't think you're mentally unstable, but I do believe that you believe this. And Henry tries to tell Adam that why this isn't logical to think like this. And then he actually has a pretty good one. And he's just like, all right, well, then tell me this. If you were in a dream, why the fuck are you scared right now? Which is completely...
Which is the $1,000,000 question. There's, as you said, there's no stakes.
Right. And then Adam's like, because in dreams you still feel pain in the moment. I wake up screaming. Be like, okay. Again, that would suck having that dream every night, but
and also,
it's not the fucking end of the world.
Also, he's got to be aware that he's not talking to a real other person. He's talking with himself. This is a conversation he's having in his mind, so... Who is he trying to convince? Himself?
And then he's like, come on, I can't go on dying. And the guards are escorting Henry out, the DA, and Adam's like, wait a minute, the oven, when you get back home, it won't be steak.
And then we get one of the best lines. Henry, like, the way he delivers it is just chef's kiss. Perfect.
Your wife, she has a steak cooking for you. Go home, look in the oven. It'll be something else.
What's wrong, Hank?
That's a roast.
That's a roast.
It's just so good.
Terrified of that roast.
That should be a sound clip that we have.
That's a roast.
That's a roast.
Every time someone gets burnt or someone like does a Sterling to him, like, well, you, sir, are fucking ignorant. That's a roast.
That's a roast.
I do got to pull some clips. There's some good ones. The next scene, we're back in the jail cell, and Jiggs is telling Adam to tell the dream story to the governor, so pretty much he'll be pardoned and he could plead insanity.
What the hell?
And then Adam's trying to, again, give more logic to even Jiggs. He's like, this is a dream, though. Think about it. I got tried and sentenced the same day. That's just like a movie. It's just my impression of what happens in situations like this. And then we get a lot of cuts back and forth. And we're back into Henry's house again. And Henry's wife comes in, and he sees Henry and Carson still up by the fire, very distraught. And then I think it's Carson that says, like, why does this always happen at midnight? That's another thing.
It's a trope. He says we're in a dream, and that's the trope of or the trope of movies.
Yeah, and then Henry has the comeback. Well, movies are accurate sometimes on things like that, and they're both obviously very conflicted on whether or not they should believe Adam or not. Then we're back in jail again. They're getting Adam ready. Jiggs tells the guards they're wasting their time because they're all just a dream. The priest comes in. It's like, let's pray. He's like, no need to pray. It only works in the real world. And then the priest is like, you're having a hard time with reality? And he's like, pretty much gives the priest a little bit of the rundown. And then he says something kind of cool. He's talking to the priest and says, I wonder where I got your face from. We've never met before, says the priest. And Adam's just like, wait, you're Father Beeman. I'll play a little bit of this one. This one's kind of cool because he also goes into a little bit of how he gets other people's faces. And he's like, Carson, that's actually the editor. He was actually the new priest.
I wonder where I've seen you, where your face came from. Yes, we have. Father Beeman. Of course, Father Beeman from over at Spring Hill. No wonder I didn't recognize you. You died when I was 10 years old. Yes, and then a young priest came and took your place. That was Carson. You know, I'm using him for the...
I'm using him as the editor.
It was pretty neat. I like that because obviously, like, in dreams, it is funny how, like, sometimes there's people that we know or people that have been in our past, and, like, some people, like, maybe you just went to high school with and, like, you never really even talked to, but they're in dreams. It's very weird. And then others are completely manifested by your imagination.
Did you ever notice, though, for the most part, it's usually like whatever you were talking about that day, or like maybe you happen to run into someone that day, like then it will kind of appear in your dream. Like if you were watching a certain show, like maybe an actor from that show might appear in your dream, or if you were talking about someone from high school a lot that day, they
definitely
might happen to
things like of suggestion like that go into your subconscious, but sometimes it's completely random. Like someone's like, I didn't even fucking thought about that person in years.
Yeah, sometimes.
All right, so then the priest leaves, and again, a lot of cuts here. We're back at Henry's house, and him and Carson are trying to...
Oh, no, you skipped a part. So after while the priest is there, they end up cutting his pants for some reason. I have no idea. I wrote that down. Why did they cut his pants?
Did it show them cut his pants?
Yeah, it showed them cutting like the very ends of his pants. They cut like upward.
Because I noticed like at the end when he's walking and it shows it and it like lingers on it, but I was like, I don't remember him cutting his pants. It probably had to do something with like, maybe they attach an electrode there or something, so they have to have...
Maybe.
Probably something like that.
And also, like, when they start taking him, like, he's just so calm. And I feel like that's a trope in a lot of movies, but, like, why would you be so calm walking to your own death? Like, in this case, it's a dream, yeah. But in, like, other cases where you're actually on death row, like, they're usually depicted as, like, calm. Like, I feel like I'd be freaking the hell out, like, trying to throw punches and, like, just escape, like... Why quietly walk to your death when you know it's inevitable? Like, fight.
I think you'd be in such shock. I don't know. I guess everyone would be different. But then we're back at Henry's house, and Carson is trying to get Henry to call the governor and be like, come on, like you could be sending a mentally incompetent person to the chair. You can't do this. And Henry kind of caves. He's like, oh, I'll regret this. He calls the governor. And then we get a clip back to the prison, and they're putting Adam in the chair, and then back to Henry's house. He's calling for the governor, and he just reaches the governor, and he's like, Governor, I need you to stop this execution. And then we're back in the jail again. Midnight, the clock strikes midnight, and the guy pulls the switch, and the phone's ringing pretty much at the same time.
Missed it by seconds.
And we fade to black. And then we fade in from black, and it's pretty much the same shot from the beginning. We see Henry there with his hand up against to his face. The light again starts slowly coming on to the jury.
But now we see the cast of characters have all flipped around.
Yeah, Jiggs is not a prisoner anymore. He is the judge, and there's quite a few other little changes there. I think now the editor guy is a juror.
Yep, he's the main juror that's reading out the verdict.
Right, and they're pretty much the exact same shot. And what's the verdict? Death, Your Honor. And they start replaying the whole thing. It even like does the whole like no, like, and Rod takes us out.
We know that a dream can be real, but whoever thought that reality could be a dream? We exist, of course, but how? In what way? As we believe, as flesh and blood human beings? Or are we simply parts of someone's feverish, complicated nightmare? Think about it. And then ask yourself, do you live here, in this country, in this world? Or do you live instead in the Twilight Zone?
It's just so much crazy amount of existential dread. I don't know.
I just feel that this was a bad episode. I feel no existential dread.
So anyway, Tyler, that's our episode. What did you learn?
I learned what a roast looks like.
Yeah. All right, we'll get into ratings. IMDb currently has this at an 8.1 out of 10. I think we're going to be kind of close. I think I maybe liked it a little bit because I feel like it could have been really good, but that whole thing of him being able to wake up, if he was stuck in this dream, it might have been a little bit better. Because it'd be like, you'd feel bad, like he's stuck in this hell. But the fact that he actually fucking wakes up every night.
Or if they don't even make it a dream and it's just a time loop instance.
Yeah, that would even be
like
worse.
That way you're actually feeling the pain every time, but you re-wake up in the same moment.
Right. But anyway, you want to try and do it at the same time?
Sure, yeah, we can try.
All right, 1, 2, 3,
6.5.
Oh,
right. Quite a ways off.
A little ways off. I got 6.5. It's decent. There's just too many flaws with it to be any better than a 6.5 for me, but that's where I land on. It's just kind of there.
Yeah, I'm going with 4.5. There was no point. It didn't make a whole lot of sense. I just don't get what they were trying to go for here. It's below mid for me.
Who are they? Where are they? What are they? Let's find out together. In the Twilight Gnome presents Inside the Twilight Zone.
All right, so this week we have Dennis Weaver. He played Adam Grant. He was probably best known as Chester. He was in 290 episodes of Gunsmoke, and he was actually in an episode of The Simpsons back in 2002. He plays Buck McCoy when Bart gets obsessed with the old cowboy.
Sounds vaguely familiar.
That's a good reference because I love The Simpsons. I remembered that. And then I had this written down because I did notice when he stood up and they were bringing him to the execution, like, wow, he's fucking quite a bit taller than everyone. He was 6'2", apparently, which I think was probably pretty tall for the time.
I mean, it wasn't that long ago. It's more like 6'2" would be really tall.
You didn't
for
notice
like
that he was quite a bit
1700s.
taller than everyone else?
No.
And then we have Harry Towns. He played Henry Ritchie. He was in 2 episodes of The Twilight Zone. Obviously, he was in this shadow play, and he was in The Four of Us Are Dying. And he was in 1 episode of Night Gallery. He was in an episode of The Outer Limits, 2 episodes of Hitchcock Presents, and he was in 1 episode of Mr. Peepers.
Oh, yeah.
Sex fiend. Sex fiend. Sex fiend. Hey, I'll get a towel. Sex fiend. Ellie's not that kind of a girl. Sex fiend.
Yeah, been a couple.
Yeah.
And then we have Wright King. He played Paul Carson. He was in 2 episodes of Twilight Zone as well. Obviously, he was in this, and he was in the season 4 episode of Late, I Think of Cliffordsville. And he was in 8 episodes of Gunsmoke and 2 Playhouse 90s. A little bit of trivia on this one. This was remade to be one of the 1980s Twilight Zone episodes, which would be interesting to see that.
Yeah, how they did with that. Did it improve?
Yeah. They used quite a few of the same music cues as the episode 22. The set direction in total cost $3,130, with the jail being the most expensive set at $1,650. Can you guess which set was the cheapest?
I'm guessing the courtroom looked pretty cheap. It was mostly just big box.
It was the kitchen, actually. It only cost $100 for the kitchen. Wright King, the guy that played Paul Carlson there, the editor.
Yep.
He was not a big fan of this episode. In the book, it says that he quoted him saying, like, I watched it twice and I just don't get it.
I'm right there with you, Paul. I don't get it either.
Right. And then apparently in a deleted scene, it shows them cutting his pants more and shaving his head that they took out, which I thought that I just missed them cutting his pants. So they definitely do show him
him cutting his pants. They do not show him getting shaved
because they got to shave your head to put like the sponge on or whatever on the top of your head, I believe.
Yeah.
But in total, this episode cost $50,115. The director got the usual $1,250, and the cast received $8,397.
What'd you say your name was?
What's in a name, Mr. Benninger, really? It's a mere question of semantics. Just language. A mere stretch of words.
So every week, Tyler and I come up with a few alternative titles to the episode we are watching. I came up with 4 this week.
I have 6.
All right, go first then.
All right, I'll start with my debacle. I got The Dream Debacle.
I got Death Row Debacle.
Oh, nice. I got Reoccurring Execution.
I got I Dream of Screamy.
I like that one. I got Dead Man Dreamin'.
Die Again Later.
Yeah. I got Affiliates Execution.
I got Grim Grinning Grant Comes Out to Sleep and Die.
Yeah. I got Lucid Execution. And my last one was Wake Me Up.
Wake me up.
Wake me up inside. I can't wake up.
All right. If you guys want to play along, on the Facebook page, I post a picture of next week's episode. I would imagine that would probably be the best thing to comment on because obviously if you're listening to this now, we can't see any of those right now.
Yeah.
But if you did it on the next week's episode thing on the Facebook, I could look at that and then know.
And then we'll read it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
On next week's episode. Switcheroos, I have 3.
I have 4.
All right. I'll go then. Death's Head Revisited.
Yep. Execution.
Yep, I don't have that one. That was a no-brainer. The Mind and the Matter.
No, I have A World of His Own.
Perchance to Dream.
Yep, that was my last one.
Oh, it may be better, it may be worse. The Twilight Zone did it first.
All right. right, so not many different references this time, but the ones that there are, I thought were actually quite cool. So I'm going to kick it off with the title actually makes reference to an ancient art of shadow and shadow puppetry using like opaque figures that kind of cast shadows onto clear curtains. And this kind of entertainment was kind of used throughout the world, probably most well known from like Greek stories. And it's presented in theaters by traveling tropes. So that's kind of what they were going for with the name here. Another episode that this is referenced in, there's an episode of The X-Files called Monday. And the writer of that episode says he was inspired by this episode of The Twilight Zone for his X-Files episode. And then last but not least, a really cool reference here. There was a 2001 movie called Vanilla Sky with Tom Cruise. And the movie's about a man who's incarcerated and he's charged with a murder and he's having difficulty determining what's a dream, what's real. And in this movie, there's a scene where he's alone in Times Square, and in the background, you can actually see a clip of this episode playing in Times Square. And I actually watched it, and you can actually make him out in the background. So pretty cool.
Nice. All right, so every week Tyler picks the episodes, and he does so by showing me an AI-generated picture, and I play a little game where I have to guess what it is. Please, for the love of God, give me something I put like above like a 7.5.
So next week, as you know, is Valentine's Day, so it's going to be a Valentine's Day episode, if that helps you narrow it down.
Huh? I really hope it's not the fucking Chaser. I'm gonna guess it's a Chaser.
You ready?
Yeah. It's the fucking Chaser.
Yeah,
God.
it's the Chaser. I liked this episode. I thought it was really cool.
All right.
It's good. It's a good episode. When's the last time you watched The Chaser?
It's been a while, but we'll see. I believe that one actually had like an alternative title when they were doing. I think it was called like Can She Type or something.
Yeah, which doesn't make any sense because at no point in that does she type anything.
Is she a secretary or something?
No, it doesn't even say what her job is. Weird title.
All right, next week for Valentine's Day, pucker up because we're gonna watch The Chaser. I'm pretty sure it's kind of rapey, ain't it?
No, there's like, I won't get too much into it. He tries to kill her. It's
after making her want to love.
Yeah, it's
all right.
Bit problematic.
Just a little bit of housekeeping, guys. If you could please continue to like and subscribe on the YouTube page, it would mean a lot to us. Obviously, our new goal now is to get 100 subscribers. That would be awesome to be in the triple digits. And if you're listening to this on Spotify, if you could leave us a 5-star review. And
we are a 5-star show.
We are a 5-star show. And go ahead and go onto the Facebook page and like and follow that. And maybe we can start getting people to play a little bit along with the new name segment. Other than that, if you have any other questions, you can email us at twilightgnome59@gmail.com. I'm guessing that inbox is still dusty as a bastard.
It is, yep.
Perfect. All right, Ty, I got one more question for you before we leave.
Alrighty.
Have you ever had a reoccurring dream?
Not the same dream over and over again. In terms of like nightmares, though, any dream with a Bigfoot, like the minute Bigfoot makes eye contact with me is when I wake up, but it's never like the same dream. But like if I had a nightmare, it's probably Bigfoot's involved.
The only I've never really had a reoccurring, but I've had dreams where I've been in the same situation. And it's funny because I was on Reddit and someone posted a picture of like this bathroom, like a never-ending bathroom, and they're like, "Come on, you've all been here before." And it's creepy because thousands of people were commenting on it, and I have definitely had this dream many a times where I'm in like a bathroom and I gotta like shit or take a piss, and I can't find a fucking bathroom, and every single one I can find is like dirty and just like filled with shit, and you're like, oh god, I gotta do something.
Did you wake up needing to go to the bathroom?
That's what everyone was on there was like, because a lot of people were like, what does this mean? It's like, probably means
you need to go to the bathroom,
dude. But it's a very unpleasant dream.
I don't think I've ever had a dream where I was in a bathroom.
Have you ever have the...
Or other than the one where I wasn't going to the... Actually, I just talked early in this episode about me being in a bathroom, so that's a lie. But it was a bathroom that I knew, so that's...
Have you ever had a dream where you're pantsless? And you're like, shit, I gotta fucking like just exposed?
Well, I was probably completely naked. It wasn't like Donald ducking where I was had just my top shirt on.
I've definitely had dreams where I hate those. Or what about like dreams like I haven't been in fucking school in like 15 years.
All the time
like,
of dreams
I
of
got
like,
my homework.
God, I forgot that presentation that was due today, or like, oh, I missed my homework. a lot of dreams like that where I forgot my homework. Even though it's been such a long time since I had school. And I wake up and I'm like, shit, I got to do that report. I'm like, what? I haven't been in school for over a decade. I'm good.
Right. Especially with all like the day-to-day like troubles that we go through as adults, and then you thinking about home, like, who gives a fucking shit about homework?
Exactly. You wake up and you're like, that's not a real concern. You ever had a dream where in the dream you dream and you want him to do so much you do anything?
Yeah.
That's what I thought you were going to go. You were... When you started with that, I thought you were going to do that.
What else? Another funny thing I heard about dreams. Have you, as much as we're like obviously obsessed with our phones and I have a face spray, I've never had a dream where I am playing on my phone.
No, that'd be weird. I feel like there's so many more interesting things to do than play on your phone in your dream. It's like that this episode of SpongeBob where like SpongeBob's jumping through everyone's dreams and Patrick's dreams is him on that seahorse just going back and forth. And it's like, you can do anything in this dream, right? And he's like, yep.
True. All right, Ty. Well, until then, do you have anything to say to our dear, dear listeners?
Yeah, may all your dreams be sweet dreams, and thanks for stepping into the Twilight Gnome with us.
Good night, everybody.
It's 4 o'clock, the howling man is gone. Frisbee's telling stories, Mr. Dingle's strong. There's time enough for the real Martian to stand up. Next stop, Willoughby, little girl is lost. There's something on the wing, Walter Jameson won't live long. Feel like I'm 5 characters in search of exit. Help, I'm slipping into the twilight known. Luckily on Thursday we leave for home. The chemists came and gave beauty to behold. Where's everybody? Get Axel Tyler on the phone. Now you're listening to the twilight known. Till next Friday night, you won't be alone. Till then, just keep watching your favorite TV show. Take it, Mr. Serling. Listen hard and long. The twilight known. Listen hard and long. The twilight known.
Sex fiend.
One oh no.
I do not.
I mean, if I was gonna come up with one on the spot, I had it. What was I thinking of? Shit. Scat play.
Yeah.
It's stupid.
I was trying to think of like something play, but like it would start with an S, but like
Sack play. Scrotal play. There's fish in the percolator.
there's fish on the percolator.
I watched that episode today. Fucking. Does it ever? I don't remember. Does it ever? Did he? He must have put it in there.
I assumed it was the woman that pretends to die and then comes back as
The
an
Asian lady?
man. Well, she's not really an Asian lady. She's just pretending to be an Asian lady.
No, she's pretending to be an Asian man. She's an Asian lady.
I thought she was a white lady pretending. No, she's a white lady pretending to be an Asian man.
That's why I'm rewatching it again.
Never tried to make a puppet show with my dick. No.